Season's greetings, everyone. Today we are going to continue with the administration and management of DHIS2. So the last time we did set up the DHIS2 and had to fix some of the bad characters. So if you haven't already done that, you can go and watch those videos. So we're going to sign in with our username and password. The default, we said it was admin district, and so I have already changed my own password. So it is advisable to also, once you log in with admin district, to go to the accounts section and change your password. So provide the old password district and have a new password here, which is always advisable. You don't want to leave it out there, just admin district. So today what we're going to look at is to begin the administration, setting up the DHIS2. Currently we're seeing everything is blank. We have to first deal with the organizational unit. We have to set up the organizational unit today, and later create users and begin to go into the other details later in other videos, that is data elements and data sets and visualizations. So today we are going to deal with the organizational unit and how we can set that up. I will show you how we set that up, both manually and using the auto import feature. So if we come, you click on this menu section here, you will see under maintenance. You can search here for maintenance or just scroll down here, you see maintenance, and this is where most of the administration work is going to be. So we have our OrgUnit here, organizational unit. All right, so if you are new to DHIS2, you probably have to go on their web page and read DHIS2 documentation and learn a little about what organizational unit is. Basically, it's a way to kind of like group your whatever you are managing, you know, whether it's your facilities or assets you're managing, in a way to group them. So it's the where components of DHIS2. So imagine you have, let's say, hospitals that you are you want to monitor, you want to manage, and each of the hospitals are organizational units, and you can basically kind of like, you have groups and group sets. So some of the hospitals are from the government, some of the hospitals are private owned, some of the hospitals are maybe missionaries or whatever, faith based, and so you have this sort of hierarchy set up. Okay, so I think I did something. So it's not just in the health sector, you can also use DHIS2 in, let's say, in the education sector. So basically what I have set up here is, imagine we want to deal with let's say we want to monitor schools. Okay, so now at the top we have national monitoring, then we have at provincial level. So we have nationally, we have, let's say, 4 provinces, west, east, north and south. Then in each of them they are also separated, but if we just look at, take the lens for east, we have these districts in there in east, that's Kenema, Kailan, Kono. And if we just take one lens of Kenema, then we have different schools that we want to monitor. And even in the schools, again, just one school, we have, maybe we want to look at teachers, students and facilities. So basically that is kind of like organizational units, the hierarchy, how you want what you are going to monitor or what you are going to collect data on. So that is where we have here the organizational unit. So in here you have the first one you look at always, the organizational unit. We'll look at these other ones later, the hierarchy operations, unit levels, and those ones. So if you look at the organizational units here, I think I have already changed one here, but at the first level 1 here, you can change this to something else. If you just click on it, have the name, which is compulsory, the short name that you have to provide description, the opening date, and all the other stuff. All right, so at first level, like what we have here, we have the national here. This is going to be national monitoring is level 1, then these will be level 2, then these will be level 3, and you have the schools, and so you have level 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. If you want, you do not need to have those levels. You can just have level 1 or level 2. So the first thing is at level 1. So we have national, that is at national level. We want to monitor all schools, the short name. Now the short name is mostly, if you have a longer name, then you can provide a shorter name, or mostly commonly known name, which is mostly shorter. You can provide in here. So example, if you have, let's say, when you are filling for other levels, let's say you have a school that is called United Methodist Church Secondary School. It's a long name, but it is commonly known as UMC school. So here is the short name. You can have the long name United Methodist Church School, then you have the short name as just UMC school. Then the code, if you have, it is not compulsory, you can have that there, maybe just SCH000 as the code. Description, if you want, it's not compulsory, you can provide that. Then the opening date, that is, this opening date is very important, the opening date and the closing date. This means the opening date is, it allows the date for entry data. So if the opening date is, example, is set to 2000, let's say it's set to 1970, 1st January 1970, okay, that's the time everything is open, which means you cannot enter data for at national level that is let's say in 1960. So everything starts from 1970. So if you have for some units, OrgUnits, say the opening date, you set the opening date to maybe 2020, and you want to fill in data for, let's say, 2019, then you have to come back and change the opening date, because you will not be able to enter data for 2019. So that is just something to note. And the closing date, of course, once you cannot enter data after that time. You can provide some of this information at national level. When we are dealing with more the facilities now, you can provide in the locations, latitude, longitude of those facilities. Then maybe if there's a contact person who to contact, for each of the facilities or the organizational unit. So if we save this, we have the first level here, which is level 1. Now the manual way is to be able to create all your organizational units. Let's say you have at national level, then you have, say, at provincial level. So you click on this plus icon here, and you make sure you are on the national to create level 2. So when we click on the plus icon, then here we can provide in the information. So let's say the first one is West, and the short name is just Western area. The code, the opening dates, say we want it to be when 2010 and 1st December, that is fine. Then closing date, we leave that and click OK. And when we save that, what happens if we just refresh this here? So you see you have already kind of like a nest now. The west is in level 2. If we click on national here and click add again, we are going to create another level 2, which will be, let's say we call it west north, the northern province. Give it the same opening dates, say set to 2000 1st January, and save. Then if we refresh, we see again we have 2 now here. So you can go along with those processes. Okay, so now that we have the second levels here, so we have national, then we have the 4 provinces. Now to be able to create another sub level, you have to click on whatever you are on. So if you are on west, you click on west to create the 3rd level. If we are on east, let's say for east now we have, Kailan, Kenema, Kono. You can click on that and create your 3rd level, level 3, and provide short dates. And okay, so now if we refresh this, you will see that we have another level, sub level. Under east we have Kailan, and you can repeat these processes and create all your hierarchies here. So if you wanted to create something under say south, which is in Bo, you click on Bo and south and click on the add, then you go to and enter the information that you want. Okay, so in here now we have south and Bo, and of course those facilities, if you want now, you can add, say in Bo district, you can add your facilities. Now let's say we are dealing with schools. Let's say in Bo district we want to add our schools now under Bo district. That would be, let's say we have Bo school and the short name. So here let's say this school, it's called Government Secondary School. Bo. Okay, that's the name, the long name, and the short name is just Bo School. And the opening date is actually 1906, but let's just put it, say, to 2000. And if you have the log coordinates, you can provide that information and click save. So we have our facility here, which is this. So in the south, in Bo, we have this. You can also, you click on Bo if you want to add another facility in the Bo district. You can click on the Bo here on this level and go to add, say maybe this name is Christ the King College, and the short name is just CKC for short, and provide all the information that we need and save. All right, so basically that is the manual way of setting up your organizational structure, which of course if you are dealing with something national, you have over thousands of schools, managing it will be, creating that structure will be very difficult. So mostly is to do the automatic. I mean, you can set up all your organizational units in an Excel or CSV format and just automatically import that. So now, having looked at how we can create manually, let's take a look at how we do this automatically. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these ones for now. I'll just delete them, and you have to, deleting them, you have to make sure you delete the upper levels first. And let's refresh this before you are able to. So if you have, let's say, level 3 and level 4, you cannot delete just from level 3. You have to go delete first level 4 before you can delete level 3. So let me just show you guys. If you, so here we have level 2 and level 3. If we wanted to delete just from the east, here it's not going to allow us to delete. So you have this error, could not delete due to association with another object organizational unit. So which means we have to delete the level 3 first, Kailan, before we can delete east. Okay, so now that we have everything empty again, let's see how we can do this with the automatic way. So the first thing is, we already have here this at national level. If you right click on this, you can see clone, delete, details, and translate. If we show details here, you will see the name, the short name, the code, created date, last updated, then the ID. So let's copy this ID. This ID is very important. Copy this ID, and let us open our Excel, our CSVs. Okay, and I've already created a template, a sample here of how we can get to import these into DHIS2, automatically importing there. So here we are taking it at level 2 because we already have level 1 inside of DHIS2. So what we are going to do is, the key fields that are very important, that is compulsory to have in there, is the name, UID, code, parents, the level, and opening date. I think again we need to add the, yes, we need to add the short name. So the short name here, we can, for now, we can just copy everything for this one as the same, the short name the same as the name. Now here we have the names. So the UIDs, mostly how it is, you can generate. If you don't put anything here, the DHIS2 can generate automatically for you. But if you are doing with different levels, then you have to specify how the level 2, or you have to specify how level 3 interacts with level 2, how level 4 interacts with level 3. So in our level 2, this is at, say, the national, the provincial level, which we have east, west, north, and south. Then we have our district level, then we have our facilities. And say these three, let's say Kenema, Kailan, Kono, are all under the east. So which means the unique ID for east will be the parent for these three districts. So if you look here, SU, this is what we have here under the parents here. This unique ID here is what we have here as parent. And for these, the second level they all have unique IDs, but they are all parenting to the first level, which we have here. And this is the ID. We take this ID, JFUID 3D6, and that is what we have here. So second level is parenting to first level ID. The third level will parent to the second level, so these will parent to the east, and Bobon Muyambapujan will have a parent of the south, which we have here. Then of course, again, if you are doing for the fourth level, say the schools or facilities, here we have say Bo, CKC, and this one, they are all under Bo, and so this is why we have here this ID is what is parenting in here. So once you have organized all your Excel, your organizational unit in this format, generating these unique IDs, you can mostly use some auto string generator in Excel, random string generator in Excel, and it can generate for you these unique IDs. Then you can use them to set up your parent relationships. Then you can set up the levels here, which one is level 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the opening date is very important to set. If you leave everything blank, it will set everything to, I think, 1st January 1970. But if you wanted to specify each of them, then you can provide your own date in here. But what you have to do is you have to make sure that you format this date type. If you leave it this way, you are going to have errors in importing. So you have to make sure here you come to the custom date format. So more formatting, go to custom and date, and make sure you choose this one with the hyphen. Okay, so the year, month, and date, you set that one. Okay, so once you have that, I think we should be ready to import this information into our as an organizational unit structure. So maybe these ones we can change the short name to, this is Bo School, and this is CKC, and this is UMC School. Okay, so with this now if we have this already set up, we can come back to our organizational unit here. Now to automatically import a structured your organizational unit from CSVs, we have to come to, so you come under import, you click on the menu here, you will see import export, and in there you will see import metadata import. So if we click on metadata import, you can choose a file to upload. We are going to go to where we have our file, this OrgUnit sample, click open, and the format of course is in CSV, so we set to CSV. Dry run, we leave it to no. If you set to yes, it will just run but it will not save, so it will just check that everything has been created, like just doing a test but not actually saving it as an OrgUnit. So if there's any error, it shows you, but we just leave it to no because we want it to import. And first row is header, yes, because it's a CSV, so this first row is a header, and we choose the type. So here it is organizational unit, that is what we want. We select organizational unit, and the rest you just leave them as default. Identifier, UID, errors, just leave these ones. If everything is set up right, we click import. So you see here it says created 14 fields, deleted 0, ignored 0, updated 0, total 14. Organizational units created 14, total 14. Alright, so which means we have our organizational units created. Now if we go, let's go and check. Automatically we have in the maintenance page, if we go back to our organizational units, here we click on organizational units, so we have here automatically set up our org unit. And if we see this one, east, we have Kailan, Kenema, Kono. Then we have this one, Bo, Bonkman, Bapujan, and in Bo you have all these schools, guys, embassy, CKC. So that is how you automatically import your org unit. The hardest is to be able to set up this properly. One easy way you can do it is to do it by stages. So if you have all the level 2s, you import the level 2s, parenting to with their parent to level 1 ID. Once you import all of them, then you go again, you take level 3 and bring them in with their individual pointing to their level 2s, So it's setting this up. Once you have this template to how you want it, the facilities, then you can easily bring that into DHIS2. So now that we have our org unit set up, now if we needed to, let's say, this particular facility was not supposed to be in Bo district, maybe it is in Kenema district, then we can come in under the hierarchy operations and begin to move facilities from one place to the other. So if we come to hierarchy operations here, if we just open expand, there is south, you see here Methodist, and if we wanted to move Methodist to, let's say, the east, here we can click on Methodist, and on the this other end go to east and probably bring it under, say, Kailan. Once you do that, you select and you can say move organizational units, and so automatically you have in there now under the Kenema. Let's say we wanted to move these facilities to, let's say, under Kailan. You can click on Kailan or Kono, or Kono, and move them. So obviously we have moved them now. If we come back to our org unit, you will see that those facilities are no longer under Bo, but we have moved them to Kailan and to Kenema and Kono. So we can take them back to where they were. Let's say we want to have these facilities here back in Bo. We can move them to Bo and click move. So with this org unit sample we have here, we are ready to go and begin with the other section, which next will be in, creating the user groups, their roles, and so for now we stop here, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll be bringing in more videos on management and administration of DHIS2. So I wish you the very best. Merry Christmas and a happy new year to come.